Hello, I'm Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is Bad Accent Video Reviews. Today we're gonna speak about another anime series, Dangers in My Heart, which this time we're gonna talk about the second season. The series is based on the homonymous manga written and illustrated by Norio Sakurai, and it is a rather different type of school drama as it deals with characters that are some of the most familiar types found in Japanese schools. You can look for terms such as Tsunibyu, Tsukomi, Gyaru, etc. And also it focuses on a rather peculiar romance. So, okay, I will not dwell too much on the basics, on the premises of the series, since we are talking about the second season, but in order to give some context, the story revolves around Kyotaro, a timid loner filled with absurd thoughts, and Anna, his rather tall classmate, who is a magazine model and actress and the most popular individual in the class. Okay, I would like to start this review by talking first about the issues this season has. For starters, one of the biggest traits of the first season, which was one of the best of the year as we also voted in Asian Movie Pulse, is the surprise element. The whole approach to the story was rather unique, original, and the romance between the two was really interesting, as much as the relationship with the rest of their classmates, which gave the series an extra appeal. Okay, considering that this is the second season, expectedly this element is not here, but there are also some other issues in the second one. For starters, and probably the most annoying element, the story and the romance between the two takes too long to progress. It moves as slowly as possible, to the point that okay, in order for them to become a proper couple and maybe, you know, have a kiss or something else, they could like fill 10 seasons, something like that. It goes that slow. Uh, and again, considering that the will they want the aspect is one of the central of the anime, it gets too much after a fashion. I mean, you can leave your audience wait for so long. This also has results in some pacing issues in the whole story, which does move too slowly. And okay, there are many episodes that take place, but since the central story, the central arc is not progressing as it should be, the pacing issues are also there. Another issue that's maybe it's for me personally, but I found it quite annoying, is that some of the story aspects that were introduced in the first season and were quite interesting are nowhere to be found here. For example, Kyotaro in the first episode is like has delusions of murdering his classmates, and uh, first of all, Anna, if I'm not mistaken, but this aspect of him is definitely forgotten. At the same time, the Anna had a really interesting relationship with Chihiro, a classmate, a girl classmate whose relationship bordered in them being boyfriend, girlfriend, or something like that, although more from Chihiro's side. But this is also not here at all. At the same time, the rest of the characters are very much in the background this time, with not much focus on them, which definitely detracts for the quality of the overall story. Essentially, the only one who remains interesting is Nico Kuda, who is perverted, manipulative, but definitely very interesting, and actually a catalyst in the story on a number of occasions. Lastly, another point that becomes annoying after a point is that we are watching the whole story just from Kyotaro's perspective, and her side, Anna's side, is barely registered, which makes the whole thing a bit one-sided, annoyingly one-sided, I could say. Okay, I understand that this is part of the narrative style, because if we also hear her thoughts, the whole mystery about how she's feeling will be completely deleted. But it would be interesting to have at least some semblance of what she's thinking, and it happens very few times, and it's just there maybe even to fill the episodes and not have an actual not have an actual impact in the overall story. Okay, this, however, does not mean that the series is not without traits. Actually, the traits are numerous, and the whole thing is again very entertaining and rewarding, with the exceptions of what we already mentioned. For example, the new episodes, a number of them are quite interesting and cute, kawaii, as they say in Japan, to watch, with the two of them ending up sleeping repeatedly under the same roof, which creates a number of awkward situations, and meeting each other's parents and having a double date and taking a trip together, although with the whole classroom. And it's this aspect that the two are essentially a couple for everyone outside of them. It's a very interesting aspect of the whole story. Also because the creators actually include it in the narrative, having their classmates realizing what is going on with them, more or less, but not the two protagonists themselves. It's a nice element. It's well handled throughout the series. Okay, another very appealing element, it was also on the first season, but it's definitely here once more, is that Anna is already a woman. She has her quirks and whatnot, and she can be childish on occasion, but she's definitely mature, considering that she also has to work, and in a very demanding sector as it's the entertainment. And Kyotaro is essentially a child in the midst of growing up. The way she changes him is one of the central themes of the anime, and it's quite appealing to watch him mature and finally admitting to himself about his feelings, who he really is, what he feels about everyone. And this is really nice to watch, as much as the antithesis of the two, which works particularly well for the entertainment the anime offers. Also, this thing with the delay that I mentioned has a positive aspect, since you can never tell where this relationship would go. It wouldn't be a surprise if in the end they split and Anna actually had someone else in her mind all along, or if her career would be an obstacle moving forward, which there is a scene with her manager that hints at that, or how will her movie friends will perceive Kyotaro in the end. There are some questions that make the whole relationship a mystery and enigma on how we can progress, which also gives the creators of the series a lot of options. At the same time, the way the season ends could actually finish the title and it would be okay. Although, as far as I know, the mangaka has already written some additional chapters, so there will probably be a third season, which will be very interesting to see where it goes. This, however, the third season, I feel, will be a make or break for the series, though, because if they continue in the same style with the never-ending delay, I don't think that they will have as many people following them after that, considering and how the whole anime industry works with new titles coming up like constantly. Also of note is the way the creators handle the fan service. It's okay, as usually it is here, but I think it's very cheekily presented. Okay, there is the way some of the girls' breasts are portrayed are definitely, let's say, hentai, as they say in Japan, and can be over the top on occasion. But it's also cheekily presented, as I mentioned, as it matches the perspective of the boys, how teenage boys look at girls at that age, and Kyotaro in particular, with the creators once more playing with this aspect to draw some laughs and some really funny moments. This also becomes part of the difference between Kyotaro and Ada, how he sees her and he considers like her comments or her acts to have like sexual connotations, although it doesn't seem to feel the same at all. Okay, again, we don't know what she thinks, but this is what we get. So in terms of art form, the anime is not exactly top notch. The background is mostly static, with the characters obviously drawn on top of it in an approach that reminds somewhat annoyingly of visual novels and actually harms the overall sense the work by Cine Animation leaves regarding the movement of the characters, at least. The red cheeks almost all protagonists seem to exhibit are also too much after a point. We see them constantly and they don't make sense after a point. And okay, and on the other hand, the overall character design by Masato Katsumata is presently realistic, also for the attention given to the clothes everyone wear. With Kyotaro funny, trying to appear cool combinations working particularly well. However, Anna's character is where this aspect finds its apogee, with her standing completely out from the rest of the characters with her height, beauty, and the way she's dressed, which actually changes a number of times, always retaining something of a kawaii sexiness that also highlights that she's a grown-up woman essentially and not a little girl. And okay, and this part, the way the protagonists look is also part of the narrative in probably the best technical aspect of the series. This whole approach was more prevalent in the first season, but now that we are introduced in more of Anna's colleagues from the movie industry and whatnot, okay, she's not the only so good looking. It seems there are others like her, but the fact remains that she is the most imposing presence technically in the whole of the anime. Okay, this is it for today. The second season is definitely on a level lower than the first for the reasons I mentioned, but it's still a great anime. You will find yourself definitely rooting for those two to finally get together and realize their feelings and whatnot. And this actually carries for the whole 13 episodes. I think we're all gonna wait and see what happens in the third series and if their relationship is actually cemented in a romantic and say actual way. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and I hope we can see you again in the next episodes. Have a nice day.